This review has been made possible by Toyota of Naperville. As you know, Toyota has tons of brand new Toyotas available for purchase. But did you know that they also have a remarkable selection of used cars? Head on over to toyotaofnaperville.com and look through hundreds of used cars for sale right now. Alright, what's up guys? My name is Zach and today I am driving a 2016 Land Rover Range Rover Evoque. Up front is a 2.0 liter turbocharged inline 4-cylinder, and down below is a 9-speed automatic transmission. And if you'd like to read more of my thoughts, head on over to carmarshal.com/overdrive, where I'll be writing a complete article about the Range Rover Evoque. As well as if you'd like to see my videos early, head on over to patreon.com. I'll leave a link in the description below, where for $2 a month, you can see all my videos before they're public here on YouTube. But let's get back to the Land Rover Range Rover Evoque, which I will talk about the name later. But let's get to that 2.0 liter turbocharged inline 4. Well, it's actually a Ford engine. It's a Ford EcoBoost engine, interestingly enough. And it puts out about 240 horsepower, which out of a 2-liter turbo, that's not bad at all. So we are on the test track because this is a dealership review. Put it over into sport. Not bad at all. Obviously, the Evoque is not the lightest of vehicles, and the 2-liter turbo isn't the biggest of engines, but you really don't have to worry about that. The turbo spools decently early. It was probably about 4,000 RPM, and it held it there for quite some time. Now, like I said, paired to it is a 9-speed automatic transmission. It is a ZF transmission. That's just the name of the transmission. It shifts really, really smooth. I love ZF transmissions. If I had to pick an automatic that I really like, the ZF transmissions have always been really, really good in my opinion. The transmission, really impressive. Not only did it shift quick, but it helped keep the engine in boost for more power. Not bad, Evoque, not bad. And last but not least, the Evoque is all-wheel drive, and we'll talk about some different settings that go into that a little bit later on. So let's talk about the interior. Well, in front of me, I have two actual gauges. On the left is my speedometer, and on the right is my tachometer. Pretty normal gauges, nothing really too crazy there. In the center, I do get a screen. It's displaying a bunch of different stuff for me right now. Time, miles per hour, the temperature, fuel, and stuff like that. It's a little bit cluttered, and the center screen keeps changing from the Land Rover logo to my 4-wheel drive system. Not really sure what that is about. On the steering wheel, I have my cruise control options and arrow buttons on the right. The arrow buttons will let me switch through all the different menus for that center screen I mentioned in the gauge cluster. On the left, I have my phone and audio options, as well as a heated steering wheel, which is super nice. And on the back of the steering wheel, you have paddle shifters. To the left, I have a button for my power tailgate. Then on the far left, I have my window switches, of course, and my memory seat options. So the Evoque has 3 different memory seat settings in which you can set, which is super handy. So if you have 3 different drivers in your family, you can all have your own seating position saved. In the center, you have your 2 vents and start-stop button. I could not find the start-stop button when I first got into it. It's kind of up and out of the way. Once you know where it is, it's not that big of a deal, but it does take a little bit of searching for your first time. Then we have the infotainment system. Nothing too crazy here. It's a pretty basic infotainment system, but I do have some fun buttons on the sides of the screen. So obviously you have your home button, settings button, your parking sensors on and off button, and then camera. Then on the right side, you have your mode button, audio button, phone button, and navigation button. Nothing too crazy there, but it is nice that you actually have tactile buttons instead of having to search through menus in order to find something that you want. Then down below the infotainment center, you actually have, I believe, the world's skinniest CD player. I did not realize that this actually was a CD player. It looks skinnier than usual, which is a little odd, but you do get a CD player in the 2016 Evoque, as well as you have your heated seat options and climate control down below that. The interesting thing here is that the knobs for heating and cooling also work as the heated seats. So you push the knob for the heated seats, but then if you want to change the temperature in the vehicle, you then use the knob, which is also the button. It's a little weird setup. It's a little weird to get used to. I've never seen heated seats also be a knob for air conditioning. But that being said, you have your typical climate control options here. Auto, front, back, front defrost, rear defrost, and of course max AC, all that stuff. Then down below climate control, you have a couple more interesting buttons. You have a power parking brake off to the left, and then off to the right, you have hill descent control, auto start stop, and traction control. So we'll start off with auto start stop. Of course I have it turned off because I absolutely hate this feature. Auto start stop is when you come to a stop, the Evoque will actually turn off to save fuel. Then you have traction control off. Obviously, this is if you would like to turn the traction control off. Then you have hill descent assist. So let's actually get to the hill and I'll kind of show you guys what that means. All right, so we are on a hill, so we are going to turn on hill descent control, and basically what it'll do is it won't exceed a certain speed going down the hill. I feel the brakes kicking in now. We're going real slow. We're going 6 miles an hour right now without touching. Now, any other car in drive, they would start obviously picking up more and more speed, but the Evoque held itself at 6 miles an hour. Then we have the shifter, which is a rotary dial shifter. I'm not a fan of this, and because I don't really know exactly what I'm in when I reach down without looking. I have to look at the dial to then figure out what gear I'm in. I have to look down now and say, oh, I'm in drive if I'm going to switch it to park. Now, yes, you can look on the dash, but my point is that other shifters you can tell just by feel. You don't have to take your eyes off the road. So not my favorite shifter, but it does work. Down below the shifter, you have a couple different modes. You have normal mode, or as the gauge cluster says, general program selected. Then you have grass, gravel, or snow. So this is for like a loose surface sort of driving experience. Then you have mud ruts, which is interesting. You get a little picture of an SUV and a tree. This also turns on hill descent control. And then you have sand, which has a little cactus next to it. So you do get a couple different drive modes in the Evoque. Then you get 2 cup holders and a little cigarette lighter / 12-volt charger. And that's really it for the front. Now, the seats are comfortable. They're leather. They're heated. I have no complaints about them. Honestly, they're super comfortable for what I need them to do. And like I said earlier, they are heated, so big win there. And the Evoque is a 4-door, technically 5-seater, so we will do a backseat review. So I'm in the back of the Land Rover Range Rover Evoque, and it's a pretty comfortable back seat. I have 2 giant speakers in either door. It says Evoque down on the center console. I do have my own center console that folds out with some cup holders. There is seating for 3 back here if you want to punish someone with the middle seat. But really the best thing about this is this sunroof. It adds so much light. It's so nice. One of the coolest sunroofs I think I've ever experienced. I could literally just stare out this all day, even though it's cloudy and I can't see anything out of it. On a starry night, oh, if you were out in the middle of nowhere with this, ooh. But overall, as I digress about the sunroof, really comfortable back seats. I feel like an adult back here, which I think is a big deal. A lot of cars that I'll get in the back of, I feel like a kid. I'm a little squished. I'm not comfortable. I can't sit up straight like an actual adult. But here, I can feel completely like an adult. I have either armrests. I'm real comfortable sitting up straight. Let's do business is how I feel. And last but not least about the interior is that you get a huge sunroof. I mean, this thing really is massive. I love it. Old Land Rover Discoveries always had cool sunroofs, or some of them you could take the tops off, blah, blah, blah. So I really like the fact that Land Rover has kept the sunroof idea going in their more current models. Now, like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, we would talk about it. This is a Land Rover Range Rover Evoque. And I think that name is stupid. Everyone's going to call this a Range Rover. Everyone will. But the manufacturer is Land Rover. You'll really only find the Land Rover name in the gauge cluster on that center screen and then on the back of the car in real small font. I mean, the whole back of the car says Range Rover. The front of the car says Range Rover. So it's no wonder that people assume that this is just a Range Rover Evoque. I mean, technically it is, but it's actually a Land Rover Range Rover Evoque, which I don't know of any other car brand that has a word twice in a name. You don't get the Ford Taurus Ford Sport. You know, it sounds weird. But name aside, this is a good looking car, good looking SUV. And I know that's why a lot of people choose these, is that they are very appealing SUVs. So far, my entire time reviewing the Evoque has been really comfortable. It's been pretty quiet. I know I always yell in reviews, that's just my personality, but it really is quiet in here. It's spacious. And you know what? It's different. There's so many SUVs available now. Like I always say, the SUV trend as of 2019 is it's booming right now. And to find something that actually sticks out, something that's vastly different than all of the crossovers offered, that's something special. And so this Evoque certainly stands out from the crowd. It's different. If you're going for different, the Evoque is different. Like I said, the start-stop button's in a weird spot. The shifter's weird. It says Range Rover, but it's a Land Rover. It looks a lot different than every other SUV offered. And I think for that, if you're going for something unique, something that will get you recognized, the Evoque might be your SUV. So, as we come to the end of the review, I would like to give a huge thank you to Toyota of Naperville. Now, you might be watching this and thinking, that's not a Toyota. Well, Toyota of Naperville has tons and tons and tons of used cars. I will leave a link to this Range Rover down in the description below. You can check out this exact one on their website. But I highly recommend just cruising through the rest of their catalog. They have a couple different Range Rovers on the lot. They also have Cadillacs. They have a couple Camaros. Up until this morning, they had an ATS-V in manual, which I wanted to review so bad, but someone bought it last night. They have tons and tons of used cars, and that's why I'm making this video. Is not only I was really interested to see what a Range Rover, Land Rover, Rover's like, but also to push the fact that Toyota does have a bunch of used cars, so definitely go check them out. Even if you're not looking for a Toyota, even if you, for some odd reason, hate Toyota's guts, check out their website. They have so many used cars. You'll find something that suits your needs. So, huge thank you to Toyota of Naperville. Their information is up on the screen. But hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to rate the video, comment on the video, and subscribe if you really liked it. Take care, guys. There goes a sight from my soul.